Oh, hi, hello. I'm filming on a different lens than I normally would, so this one's quite wide. So heads up. So yeah, this is the room that I film everything in. It's not the largest room. I'm kicking my laptop on the ground. We'll go through all of it bit by bit. I want to be very clear with something though. None of this is necessary. In fact, I'll probably be putting in random voiceover and bits as to why you shouldn't buy 95% of the stuff I bought. This is a styrofoam head that I bought for $3 at a thrift shop. It's attached to a tripod that I actually got for free from Letgo because the top was broken. And I just put that on. That's how I get focus. You may notice I'm manually focusing these. It's because lenses are expensive, and why would you want to spend money on them? Speaking of lenses, there is a giant amount of lenses here. Most of these lenses don't actually cost that much. Like some of them, I got both of these for under $5, $20, $30, $20. And I do a lot of photography with them too. Like my favorite lens in the entire group is this one here. I spent $30 on this lens, and it took this picture. And then I spent $30 on this lens. These are both made in the 70s, by the way. And it took this picture. And it's actually, you know, you can spend money on stuff, or you can be really knowledgeable and nerdy about it, or you can spend a ton of time being patient and waiting for good deals on like secondhand sites. And for me, I don't like spending money, so I went with the second and third option. It's the first camera I ever used, and the first audio I ever used was out of an iPhone. This is my old iPhone SE. It is broken, and the audio sounded pretty good. You could even put this bit up to your like mouth and talk to it, and I actually recorded podcasts on this thing too. If you ever want to make stuff, use a phone. Most money you spend on phones is spent on the camera. Then the other half or a third is spent on everything else. So your phone is always the best thing. There's a reason point and shoot cameras don't exist anymore. I always tell people that. When I was done that one, I went to a camera not pictured here. I'll just look at this one. I'll put a picture up on screen. This is an old film camera I bought, but the camera that I used after the iPhone was a Canon 70D. I got it because it looked cool, and I got a crazy deal for it on Craigslist, and Casey Neistat used it. I like this channel at the time, so I was like, sure, we'll go with that. The autofocus is good. Then here's the camera I use now. So this is the camera setup I have. Yeah. This is the Fuji X-T3. I don't think that everybody needs this camera. The reason that I personally have this camera is because I do photography as well as videography work. Also, you may notice that it doesn't look like a regular camera, and the lens is super scary. So, weird situation. This in the front is actually an adapter. I have that because the lenses for this camera type are really expensive. And also, this adapter has a piece of glass in it that makes the background blurrier than it should be. And if I try to explain that to the other people I work with at the camera store, even they have no idea what I'm doing. Then we have another adapter because I'm stupid like that. The adapter is this tiny piece of metal here, because this is not a Canon lens like all my other lenses. This is a Nikon lens. And you might be wondering, why does it look scary and has teeth all over it? This is technically a cinema lens. So these allow people to focus and do turning all this stuff remotely by gears. The reason I have this lens, so see that middle area there, that's called the aperture. I got this lens on eBay because this should be able to close fully closed, but it kind of stops there. And the reason it stops there is because it's broken. So in the popular mount, this would cost more. So I got it in El Cheapo mount broken, which ended up saving me most of the money. So I ended up only spending about $250 on this. And this is what I film 90 to 95% of everything with. So moving on to the audio. Audio-wise, it was just the iPhone for a while, and then I moved on to this. This is a Pixel MC550. It is a $20 mic I found on Amazon. It might be worth a bit more now due to global issues, changing prices on stuff. But you can get these $20 mics. They work pretty good. This one I'm actually going to ship to my friend Reese because he doesn't have a microphone. So when you see this video, this is going to be gone, actually. But I only spent like $20 on this, which was great. I moved from that to this. I actually don't like this. This is a lav I used for a while. I got a good deal on it through work. The battery door broke and it never worked since. This is a giant light that I bought. It's not as scary as it looks. The cost of all that is actually similar to the cost of this. And that's what I used before. I just didn't know the other one existed. Like, these are cool, but they're too crazy industry, whatever. You don't need that, you know. It's bright, sure, but it's not really necessary for what you do. This bit here cost me like 40 bucks. That one, that's a Godox SL60W. That was like 130 bucks. This is all Canadian money, by the way. Stand was about 50 bucks. So that is everything I'll ever need for productions. Like if I turn that on, and that's like 10% power, it's a lot. It's probably gonna change the color temperature a lot, but who cares? Normally, I'll set my tripod up over here, and then over here, I will sit down on that pillow. I will hit record, and then I will yell. This camera has a 30-minute record limit. When the 30 minutes is done, I am done. Period. One take. If it's out of focus, too late. Oh well, we're going live. That I think keeps me humble and keeps me practiced. It's kind of like a whose line is it anyway? Get it right the first time, and if you don't get it right the first time, kind of like, I'm not fully sure what's in focus right now. Oh well, I've never done this kind of video before, so I'll learn by doing, right? That's how you learn. Let's talk about these giant panels, huh? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these giant panels. These are not necessary for most people, but I was a sound guy for 10 years, so they're necessary for me. We actually made these panels with Luke, the guy who I do filming with sometimes, and I've known for like 10 years. In the back here, we've done too good of a job, so I tell you, this is rock wool. This is not necessary, and then this is just wood panels on the side, and it goes all around. They ended up being like 50 bucks a pop, all priced out, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it makes the room have a lot less of a bah, bah. There's no echo to it. There used to be a very bad echo to it. Most people won't notice if you're doing stuff with your mic really close to your mouth or really close up, but it's really cool to have, you know, all that. Up top, I have a lot of storage from when I moved and also random stuff. So we have like acoustic guitar, mandolin, violin, you know, other instrument stuff in there, bass guitar, Steadicam. That's my sweatshirt for my merch. This is a bucket full of stuff, so if I do product photography, I can put stuff on there. I can put it on some turf. These are my old sound baffles. They're just carpets I stapled to my wall. You can see them in a lot of my old videos. That's how low budget I was. This is just some white cloth to hang in case I need it. It's a lot of, you know, whatever you have, you just sort of go with what you got. Is that where my head will be? That feels close. Does that look close? Ah, it's so close. Let's move all this back. Fix you. This is not ideal. And focus-ish, sure. I hope that's in focus. I have no idea how I look in this. Without stopping the video, I have absolutely no way of telling if I'm in focus until I go back to look at the footage, which keeps me humble. I appreciate. I do all this stuff because I learn. I really care about this sort of craft, and I care about learning about things. And it's, to me, I've managed to turn my tiny little room into a bit of a studio, but, you know, not everyone cares about that. There are people out there that have 720p webcam videos that are just better than mine. I have no hatred towards those people. I do it because I like learning. I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer. I like learning the tips and tricks. I hope I haven't been out of focus this entire time. This is a very weird, janky, dumb, tiny tripod I put this on, so I hope it looks good. But yeah, so for me, I record in this. I usually edit audio stuff on Reaper if anyone does that, but Audacity works just as well, and Audacity's fully free. I use DaVinci because that's free. I stream, edit, and play all my games on this. It's an Acer Nitro 5. That's not even clean on the top. I got that for 700 Canadian from a back-to-school sale. You could have a $150 million budget, or you could have a $10,000 budget, or you could have a $4 budget. And the money is always the limiting factor. So if you know how to make $50 look like $200, that's really the best skill you ever have. So if it were me, like in my old videos, and if I were you and I wanted to make something, I'd grab your laptop with a webcam or an old phone that still works, an old phone that's broken, record on that. I leaned it up against a pile of books in my end, used the light from the outside world streaming in through the back end to give you lighting so you don't have to turn on a camera. It's probably pretty dark right now because the light's off, but I like it because the light's off. It's a little more... a little more true to life that way. A lot of people, when they make videos, they get anxiety because to them, making a video is like playing a concert. It's like doing a play. You go on stage and you show everyone all the hard work you put in, and this is the final product. You're done. You're done your painting. You're done your whatever, and you now show it off. And that's not actually how I see it at all, and it's not how I recommend people see it. To me, each video is like you practicing guitar for 20 minutes. Somebody watching somebody practice guitar for the first time, it should look terrible. No one's good at guitar for the first time. We're all bad. So the first video you make should be garbage. And then the second video you make should be less garbage. Or maybe the same amount of garbage. Maybe it takes you longer to learn. That's how I learn, very slowly and through lots of trial and error. It's way better that way. The other piece of advice I have, anyone wants to try what I'm doing, is don't tell anyone. This is a very bizarre thing to say. There's a fun quirk of the human brain. When you tell someone you're going to do something, your brain gives you all the happy chemicals that said you did the thing. So to your brain, doing the thing no longer matters because you already got the rush of chemicals for doing the thing. Whether that be working out, doing a creative project, practicing guitar, whatever. If you don't tell anyone you're uploading videos to YouTube, you get that hunger where you're like, I can't wait. You're doing your anime, go into the woods on the mountains and punch a log for 5 years, whatever moment, where you're taking your montage break to go practice and be better. And the nice thing is when you try, kind of like I always do tripod video, but I'm walking around, I bet half of this footage is out of focus. I bet I'm rambling in weird ways because I'm off guard. I bet there's some part of my room, I didn't really spend that much time cleaning, but whatever. I bet there's some part of my room that just looks weird and terrible, and I'll probably have to jump cut because I don't know, left my laundry out or something. Who cares? That's the fun of it. Do horrible all the time, and guess what? You'll get better fast. Even the whole table I'm filming on, it's white because there's super bags under my eyes as I am humanly as a natural human, and when the light comes on, it shines off the white table we were looking at earlier and lights up the underside of my eyes. They're just tips and tricks. There's no magic to it. There's no crazy whatever. You just learn it by doing. And the only other thing I would say is, aside from the camera, lens, microphone, and that light, and my computer, I guess, I don't use 99% of the stuff I just showed in this video. Yeah, some of it's fun. Like, my audio probably sounds better than it did without those sound baffles, but I didn't need to spend a day making sound baffles with Luke. I could have just not cared. Don't try to be perfect. Try to screw up. I like it better that way. It's more fun. And you learn faster anyway. You'll notice that when you practice guitar once every 2 months for 2 hours and try to be perfect, you won't be nearly as good as your friend who practices 15 minutes a day consistently. So, those are my words on that. I knew people would find behind-the-scenes videos fun, and I love behind-the-scenes videos myself, so I understand why people would find it fun, but I always got kind of anxiety about doing a behind-the-scenes video because nothing I do is necessary. I'm a very over-the-top person. I do overkill things. They're not required. They're stupid. But to me, it's the fun of failure which helps you learn faster, and having all this equipment is not what I need. I mean, heck, having non-autofocus kit lenses means that, sure, my background's blurry or whatever, but it also means I can put an entire video out of focus. I didn't even remember to talk about this thing. This is how I stream. This is a capture card. HDMI ports are one way, so there's HDMI out on my camera. It goes into here, and then their computers don't have HDMI in. Lame. So this turns HDMI into USB, and then I plug the USB into my computer, and then we go from there. So, yeah. This is way too much of a ramble. I'm gonna hate editing this later, but hopefully I didn't do anything too weird. Yeah. Bye.